Today's video is made possible by our friends at EcoFlow. What would you do right now if the power in your city to your home was completely cut off and you were caught off guard and you didn't know if it was going to be a day or 5 or 6 or even 7 days? What would you do? Have you ever practiced that? Just went out and threw the breaker, and to see how radically that changes your lives? I polled some of the most smartest people that I know and friends and family. What would they do first? What would be the first five things you could do with a solar generator, and how would you deploy that, and how would you continue that going, and what is the most critical thing in your life that you would look to first? I have my own list, but I wanted to compare it with you with the average and show you what were the 5 most important things that people thought we should do. And we're going to take the little Delta Max and we're going to go and plug it in, and we're going to try to power that in real life and see how that goes. When I started thinking about the 5 most important things that I would need to get power to in a power outage like that, I had to decide on which size generator. I have 3. I've got my little River, which I just use mostly for travel and just small things like electronics. And I have my big Delta Pro, but that one's almost too big. And if I just balance the whole thing of what it cost versus what I got in features, this is the one I would pick right here, and this is the Max. The interface is clean and simple. You've got your percentage of time to charge, and then how many watts you're putting in. We can see 1184 plugged into the wall. The app is usually how I use it. I have 3 units. I've got, like I said, the little River, and then the Pro, and then the Max, so the medium-sized one here that we're going to be working with today. When you open it up, you can just control all that remotely. So it's very clean and simple to use. You can see how long it's going to take to charge, what your inputs are, and you can also monitor your solar, what's coming in when your solar panels are hooked up as well, which is cool. I have before me the results of the poll from the smartest people that I know. And the number one, first thing everyone said, the majority of you said, need to deal with is food storage, refrigeration. These are my essential kit items here. So some warm gloves. You know it's going to be cold when the power's out. I'm going to have a little battery backup in here, my charger, AC charger for my EcoFlow. I'm going to have a series of my cables and batteries and rechargers in here. But the main thing is you want to have 2 extension cords. You want to be able to plug in 6 different things. That's going to be the ticket. So I've got a 50-footer here. This will plug in with a 3-head on it, and then I've got just a regular, another 50 with a splitter on there, so that gives me 6. In this situation with the power out to the house, I'm going to find a suitable spot to put my unit where I can get it charging with the solar. You can charge up to 800 watts with this, so 2 of those big panels. So on the south side, ideally within 50 feet of your refrigerators. Like a lot of you guys, we have backup refrigeration, freezers. We buy our beef whole cow at a time, organic locally, and it's just more affordable that way. We know what we're getting. We have a chest and just a regular stand-up. I'm not going to choose both of these. If I have limited power, I'm going to put my most essential things in the chest freezer because that's going to be most efficient. The carabiner hooks on. Okay, that actually does work. So the case becomes a stand. All right, so I'm going to get the solar panel set up. Now this is only half of what you can put into the Delta. This is 400, so these are 100 each, and you can double these up. So let's see how much we're charging right now on about the 45th parallel, which is not perfect for solar, on a completely overcast day, foggy with no sunlight. Yeah, and that's just a consistent 40 watts. And that's only going to do better if we have a clear sky and we actually get some sunshine. This is why I'm all about these solar generators, is that you can recharge them without silently. I mean, the last thing a guy wants to do in some situations is bring a bunch of attention to yourself with a screaming gas-powered engine. That's going to draw all attention to you. And if you're the only one on the block, who do you think that you're going to come to when they need power and extension cords? So being discreet and having this where you could set it up silently, even on the balcony of a townhouse or an apartment, and be completely stealth, that's the big difference between this and gas. With the chest freezer plugged in, we are pulling no power. No, I'm not surprised. Chest freezers are super efficient, and the compressor's not running. It's just sitting in idle because they're so well insulated. Can you guess what number 2 is? This was pretty unanimous. Cell phone. Want to charge that cell phone. A couple reasons for that. You might be able to connect to the internet with your cellular signal because your router and your modem are going to be offline. So let's throw a couple phones on there, maybe a computer. Okay, so we've got both of those charging, a full-size iPad and a phone. So that's cool. With the solar hooked up, we've got 35 coming in and only 19, 20 going out. Now the compressor hasn't kicked on for the cooler, but that will handle that, and that's at least protected right now. We've got the chest cooler going. We've got the phone and the computer charging. What do you think number 3 was? Wi-Fi. Oh, it's a rare glimpse inside the command center. I'm gonna unplug the modem from wall power. And then in your kit, make sure you've got the 3-way splitters, because you're gonna only have one plug. You have to change stuff around. It's kind of a pain. And we are up and running. And where we're sitting currently with the chest freezer and the iPad, iPhone, and the Starlink, we are going out with 46, 49, and coming in with 24. Are you ready for number 4? Number 4 in our top 5 lists of the most important things to power would be home office or computer. Well, I happen to have one. Let's go see how that stacks. Well, this is my layer, my editing suite when I want to sound fancy. I don't need to power the whole office. All I need really to do is to power my desk, and I have a power strip on there which everything's hooked to. So I think we could stack that on. We'll just add the desk unit on there, and that would be microphones, speakers, just the essential things that I would need now that I have internet where I could run my business or continue to work. This is the cord from the command station. We're going to set you up right here. Sorry about that white balance problem. I had the color wrong in the last, when I came in here, it looked like I had salmon colored carpet. It's actually not. I can actually cut a lot of power out of this. I can take off the desk lamp, the studio lights, and just go to the bare bones, which is going to be basically just the iMac. I can turn off the studio monitors and just edit with headphones. And if I don't want to pull all this power, I could use my laptop. That's going to charge during the daytime, and then I have that at night, and that's going to draw a lot less power. But headphones and internet and computer, and that's pretty good. Let's take a look here. So with 4 items going, our chest freezer, iPad, iPhone, CenturyLink, wireless, Starlink, and my desk, and that's free of computer speaker monitors. It's free of external hard drives, just the essentials. We're at 83, 84 watts with 25 coming in as the sun's starting to go down. You ready for number 5? The number 5 most requested was light. How do we get some light? And so we don't sit in the dark all the time. You take that for granted, but people back in the day before power sat in the dark at night if they couldn't afford to buy candles and such, and those were expensive and dangerous. I would not recommend candles unless you really know what you're doing and you have a good container to keep them in, because if you have little kids, they seem to be drawn to that if they're not used to having candles burning, and the chance of you starting your house on fire is way higher. It's just not necessary anymore. A better option is to go with some electrical style units. And what we've used, these 2 types of lights is what we use for various reasons. The little Surefire, these are a great price, and they last forever, and they have 2 light sources. So you can light the button on the bottom, pushes one that shines on the ground so you can see where you're walking. The button on the top does a traditional light. But they tail stand, and they're nice in that what we'll do in the evening, if the power is out and we want to cook or something, we'll just take one of these guys and just sit it right up here, and it hits the ceiling and it diffuses really nicely, and you can carry it with you. Everyone in the family can have one. You can sit it down, you can clip it on stuff, and that's really the way to go, because we're going to have rechargeable batteries in there. Also, these little UCO lights, these are kind of handy. They're going to charge, and we'll try it out here and see. We'll get these guys going. But this has a little battery inside and a little lamp that will turn on once it's charged. All right, so that's charging. So these little lamps, you can just turn them on, and they have a rheostat on them, and you can carry them along like an old school nightlight. So they last a long time. They've got a USB in the back. You can charge your phone with it. Very handy unit in combination with these little stream lights. Now these take 4 AA's. All of your batteries, be sure you have rechargeables for your essential items, and we have everything that we can running on AA's or the 18650s, the big ones. The AA's, the best ones that I found have been the Inteloops. The blacks are the pros that pay a little bit more, but they hold a little bit better capacity. The whites are less money, and they're often on sale, and the white Inteloops are pretty good. But the versatility of these chargers is you can have an 18650 in there, and you can put a AA in there. You can even do AAA's if you have appliances for that. With the 2 AA Inteloops charging and the UCO, that little lamp is charging, we still have our chest freezer on there. We've got the iPad, iPhone, We've got My Desk running and Starlink, so we have internet and a workstation. We're coming out, averaging there right around 100. Well, that's pretty good. We're going out 131 watts going out and 23 watts going in, as I said, as the sun's setting. Only other thing I might add and keep topped off is if you have the little power banks, they can charge here. That's nice because when you go to bed, you've got, some of them have lights on them like this one, but you've got a way to charge your phone, to keep your phone charged up and topped off. And so if I add that right there, it puts us at 145 watts going out and 25 going in. If as I said, I've got 3 of these solar generators. I've got the Big Pro, and I've got the Little River, and then I've got the Delta Max here. If I had to choose just one, that's all I could have, this is the one that I would choose because it really bridges the gap for, you can power some essential things on your home and you can still take it with you. The Big Pro is kind of once it's at home, it stays at home. The River is too small for anything like this, refrigerators and stuff, but this is a nice deal. And to be able to have 800 watts of solar going into it, I'm definitely going to order another panel. Then you can really get some charging and keep up on it. Now, this is not intended to be a whole house unit. I just wanted to demonstrate by having this, it gives you the capability to work, to stay informed, to charge those essential things that you need, and you could even add a little bit more. Just know you've always got to put back into it. What you take out's got to go back in. One thing a guy can do as well is you have the ability to charge this from your car. So if you've got some extra fuel and you're not going anywhere because of the storm or natural disaster, just take this in and plug it into your car and let your car idle, charge all your phones, all your electronics, and it's a way for you in a few hours to get this topped off, and then this can carry you through until the power gets restored. But having these and having the ability to be very silent and kind of stay under the radar and not to need any inputs from propane or fuel, and just by putting the solar panels up and be able to recharge it is really a tremendous capability because those generators are becoming more and more of a liability just because of the noise and the need for all of the components, primarily the fuel, and the storage of it's difficult as well. Our friends at EcoFlow are offering up to $950 off for a holiday sale that they're running. I'll put links down below in the subject heading if you want to go look at them. They have some bigger, they have some smaller, but if you're just going to have one to put away for hard times or an emergency, this is a great unit. Most people are able to pick it up. It's mobile, you can take it with you. And again, as I've said, I have not used a gas generator since I've had these. They're just so far superior without all of the noise and the drama. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our friends at EcoFlow, and we'll see you guys on the next video.